CSS tutorial, part 2. Now we're going to add some structure. What we want to do is we want to have the main contact area to not be the full 100% and the aside then to be maybe about 15% on the right hand side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to firstly we're in the template file, and we're going to look at the CSS file. So pgig.css is the attached template. Just look at this in code view so that we can see it all. And this is the styles that we've already put in to the style sheet. Okay. The next style we're going to do is we're going to look at the main. So it's a ID that we're using. So it goes hash main, and then we put in a set of curly brackets. And the first thing we're going to do here is going to give the main a different background color. So background color, and in this case here I'll just make up some kind of a number here. We make it 68 AF CB. Okay, so kind of a turquoisey kind of color. Now this is an important one. We want this division to float to the left, so we do float left. And again, as you see, Dreamweaver is picking everything up for us. We want to give it a width then. So the width at the moment for the overall container is 800 pixels. So we'll make this, let's say, about 650 pixels. We could, of course, use percent, which is the more common way that's done now with multiple formats, but we'll just stick with pixels for the moment. I'm going to give it a height because we can actually specify what the height will be. And I'm going to make the height 550 pixels. Now, when you fix the height like that, you then have to indicate what happens when the content wants to take up more space than the 550. So will you put in a scroll bar, or will it be shown, or whatever? So what we're going to say is for the overflow, we want to scroll. So that'll automatically put a scroll bar in on the right hand side of the area. And we just set the margin to the left equal to 0 pixels, just to make sure on it. Okay, so that has our main set up. The next thing I want to look at here is to set up the aside. Okay, so I'm just going to put a wee comment in here because I like keeping all of the styles from main in the same area. Down here, where we just put a comment styles for the side. Okay, so for the aside, and there's no hash or period in front of this because aside is a recognized tag. The main has a hash or a hash in front of it because it is an ID. So for the aside we don't have to have that, and we don't have an ID on it. And we're going to float it to the left. And we're going to give it a width of 150 pixels. Okay. Now it's important here that the height or the width here, the 560, and the 150 here equals the 800, which is what we had for the container. We had the width here 800. If, for example, I'd made the aside 200, then the two of these would not be side by side. This one here is going to be on the left. It'll come over 650 pixels, and then this one here will be on the left beside it, which will be 150 pixels, so there's space for it. Okay, if that was 200, there wouldn't be space for it, and it would appear underneath. So just something to be careful about. What I'm just going to do now is I'm just going to save that file. File save. And if I want to see how the index file is going to look at, I need to put the CSS file at least up onto the server. I still think for you it would be a better idea to just go to your files, select the complete site, and put the complete site. Okay, that way you're sure you're putting everything up. We go to our index page now, And you'll see that this has changed. You'll see that we've got the home section here, the main area, and it will go down a certain distance, and we've got the aside over here at the side. Now, to see how it works properly on a browser, we need to preview in our browser. So we'll just go to Safari here, and here we have it. Okay, so we'll see that we've got a scroll bar on the outside here, and the page has been set up accordingly. Okay, that concludes this part of the tutorial.